See if I'm tall enough. Okay, we're tall enough. All right, let's do it. So good morning, everybody. If you're over on Facebook, let me chat with you on Zoom. I feel like I'm very crooked. We'll start on our backs for our extended side angle practice today. But if you want to stay up for the card, as usual, you can. Your choice. If you want to go ahead and lay down and get cozy, go for it. Let's see what the universe has for us today. What do we need to know besides be wary of technology? When I see good in others, I acknowledge it out loud. I like that. A cool looking card. Like that. When I see good in others, I acknowledge it out loud. I'll let you guys get cozy. Go ahead, lay down, close your eyes, settle in. Kind of shake off all that external stuff, put aside the day, and we'll pick that back up later. We're just going to take the next little bit, focus on ourselves, on our mats, bodies, our breath. Just take a little me time, right? Yoga is all about self-care. As you're here, maybe each breath gets a little deeper. Everything around you kind of getting a little bit more quiet, a little bit more still. Body getting a little bit more still, right? Kind of settling in. Read our card one more time. When I see good in others, I acknowledge it out loud. In general, I feel like it's much easier for us to comment on negative things, right? How often do you go leave a review of a restaurant when it was great versus how often do you go leave a review of a restaurant when you had a terrible experience? Right? We just tend to gravitate more towards talking about the negativity. Right? We're like, oh yeah, that's good, and then we move on. And we're like, oh, that's bad, and we gotta stew in it. It's the same with like each other, with people, right? You know, maybe you're walking down the street and you notice this and you go, oh, I really like her dress, but you say it to yourself. You know how you feel when you get a compliment, right? If somebody comes up to you and says, I really like your dress, right? You get a little smile, maybe a little fluster, and it makes you feel good. So why don't we do that, right? Give it away. The things that we enjoy should be the things that we give away the most because we know how good they are, right? If that somebody saying hi and smiling on the street makes you really happy, then like say hi and smile to people on the street because chances are make somebody else really happy too, right? Yeah, you're probably the one person that maybe doesn't want to hear it, right? But who cares? For everybody else, it makes them happy. When we see the good in others, let's acknowledge it. Let's say it out loud. Let's make it as much of a practice to celebrate the good stuff, the joys, the wins, as it is the bad stuff. When you love something in somebody or about somebody or something they're doing, tell them. Tell them that you appreciate it. Tell them how fantastic it is you think what they're doing. Because we all need that, right? I'll say that. I need a little boost once in a while, right? I need a little pick me up, a little hey, good job, pat on the back. We should kind of get that. We need it first from ourselves, but it's nice to be, recognized sometimes. Just makes you feel good, right? Just a little thing. Your hair looks good today. Thanks. Maybe that's your goal for today or next couple days. You know, we don't all get out quite as much. So, maybe just the next few days, just notice and share what you notice with those around you. Celebrate all the good stuff, even louder than the bad stuff. On that note, let's start to celebrate our bodies a little bit. Take a big inhale, reach those arms up overhead, give a nice full body stretch, waking everything up, start to send that energy around. Maybe you point and flex the toes a little here, start to find some movement, wiggle the fingers, move the ankles. And then when you're ready, relax those arms down to your sides, draw the knees into the chest, give yourself a little squeeze here. Maybe you rock side to side or find a little movement if it feels good, right? Circles. Just anything that your body's asking for here. Nice little low back massage, always feels good. We'll come into stillness, settling back at neutral. Take a little twist, start to wake the body up a little bit. So extend that left leg out straight. And on an exhale, draw right leg across the body. Shoulders, wherever they feel good. If you can get that right arm on the mat, cool. If not, you can just kind of keep it soft on the body. And we want to work on opening that side body a little bit, but don't force it. Next inhale, bring it back to neutral. Draw that left leg in to meet the right. Swapping legs, extending that right leg out straight. The same thing here on an exhale. You'll draw that left knee across the body, finding your twist. Maybe that shoulder comes down, kind of opening up that left arm to a T. Or, like I said, you can just kind of keep it soft on the body. If the upper body is not quite there yet, we'll give it a little love before we jump into our extended side angle pose. Don't worry. Next inhale, we'll come back to neutral. Draw that right knee in one more time to meet the left. A little squeeze or a little movement, whatever you need. And then we'll come up to tabletop, making your way there. Where we'll give upper back a little love. Lock for later. So from our tabletop, you guys know the drill. Take a little movement. Maybe it's cat-cows. Maybe it's a little unstructured, right? Maybe it's just kind of some wiggles, some stretches, little side stretch. Whatever feels good here for you. I know it's 10 o'clock, but depending on where your morning is, maybe you haven't done too much. You need a little bit more movement. Maybe you're feeling pretty loose. You just want to take a few rounds of cat-cows here. Turn to face you guys. Want to open up that side body a little bit, right? So one of the benefits of our extended side angle pose is kind of like opening up and stretching this area. We're really like opening the heart. So from our tabletop, coming back to neutral, no rush to get there whenever you're ready. We'll just do a couple twists here just to open up that side body. So on an inhale, sweep the right arm open, coming up high. Gaze comes up towards the ceiling. Hold for a breath. And on the exhale, you're going to come down, sweep that right arm directly behind the left wrist. And we're not going to come down on the shoulder. You're just going to reach through towards the left side. Holding for a breath. And we're going to repeat that one more time. So on an inhale, sweep that right arm high. Reaching tall, gaze coming up towards the ceiling. Pause for a breath. And on the next Exhale, sweep that arm down, reaching through to the left. Give yourself a breath. And then let yourself come back to neutral. Maybe a little cat-cow or a little something if you need it. And then we'll do that same thing with the left arm. So on an inhale, whenever you're ready, sweep that left arm high, opening up, gaze coming towards the ceiling. Pausing just for a moment. Then on that exhale, we'll sweep that left arm down, coming right behind the right wrist, reaching through. Inhale, you'll sweep up one more time. Exhale, sweeping down, reach through once more. Then you can come back to neutral, bringing both hands to the mat. Same thing here, if you need a little stretch, right, a little wiggle, whatever feels good. Maybe get a little tension out in that upper back. And let's slide those hands forward, come up on the toes. Make your way into down dog. Pedaling out those feet if they need it, right? A little movement in the legs. Step on your tail there, Missy. And we'll just settle in here, holding for a breath or two. Start to wake that body up. One of the other things with our extended side angle pose is going to build a lot of stamina, right? Just like our down dog. Next, inhale, put a bend in your knees. Walk your way to the top of the mat. We'll meet there in a forward fold. Bend in the knees if you need it here, right? If those hamstrings are tight. Letting top body kind of hang and get heavy. Just one more breath here. Next inhale, let's find our way to half lift, hands on the shins. Nice flat back, find some length. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep those arms to the sky. And exhale, prayer to your heart. Just let yourself pause here for a moment. Maybe your eyes are closed. Kind of give yourself a second to kind of arrive here, right? All of you. Come back to that place at the beginning of class. You had that quiet, that stillness. Right before our movement. So we mentioned a couple benefits to our side angle pose, right? It's kind of opening up that heart. It's going to help us stretch the side body. It's going to work the legs a lot, right? I'm sure we can feel that when we're in it. So we're really working the quads, the hamstrings. We're building strength in the ankles, the knees, the feet, everything in that lower body. It's also going to help with like sciatica and stuff like that, low back pain. So this is a pretty all over body pose in a lot of ways. So let's jump into it. So pick your variation for your arms, right? I'll show you a couple while we're in it, but we'll just jump right in, one round on each side, and practice our pose for the day. So find your way through Tadasana at the top of your mat. If you're going to use the block, grab your blocks and have them handy. Right, we'll start nice and even. Start turning that body on our Tadasana, our mountain pose, rooting down through the feet, activating all those muscles in the legs that we're about to use. Same thing with the upper body. Remember, we want to use our core, right, to hold ourselves up. We're not leaning on that elbow or on the block or on the ground. We're engaging this upper body, and we want to have heart open. So just like we're opening up in Tadasana, shoulders back, heart open, we want to keep that when we're in our extended side angle pose. So try not to lose that as we're moving. So that nice, strong mountain pose. Gaze forward, lifting through the crown, heart open. Take an inhale, sweep those arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, dive it down the middle. Plant the hands, step back, left foot, find your lunge, right? This is where we're gonna start building our pose. So front foot's never gonna move from here, right? This is where we're gonna keep it. So make sure it's where you want it. Pressing down through all four corners, knee over ankle, nice and strong and straight in that back leg. Still have that nice open heart, right? Now we're gonna keep building our feet. What's next? We're gonna drop that back heel, coming into our warrior 2 foot, right? Pressing into that back edge. On an inhale, rise up, lift the top body. Now, if you wanna straighten the knee here for a second, just to check now that you're standing, make sure your feet are where you want them. Heels either in line or front heel in line with the middle of the back foot. And now as you bend back into that front knee, knee over ankle, we're gonna wanna charge forward. And we wanna be able to see that big toe, right? On the inside of the right knee. Now we're gonna add our arms. So let's come to warrior 2 arms to start. Right, so shoulders back, we still have that nice open heart. And then you decide how you're gonna come into your side angle. Maybe you're gonna just take elbow to the knee. Maybe this back arm's gonna hang on the hip. Maybe you're bringing in a block, right? And you're going for the block here. Top arm can come up and over. Remember, we're opening that side body. Palm faces down. Gaze comes up towards the ceiling. Hold. One more breath. Just let those arms cartwheel down to frame the front foot, popping up on that back heel as you do. Come back to that low lunge. Next inhale, your back foot will come up to meet your front half lift. Exhale, fold. And right into the other side, so stepping back with that right leg, find your lunge. So same thing, let's build our feet. Pressing down through all four corners of that front foot, right? Nice and strong and stable. This is gonna be our biggest connection. Front knee stacked. When you're ready for it, you're gonna drop that back heel. Don't step on the dog. And use the inhale, lift the top body. And same thing here, if you just take that bend out for just a second, get a little relief. Get your legs where you want them. Then come back into it. Right, checking in with that front big toe. Side body's open, right? If we're against the wall, your back's on the wall. Arms out, gaze forward. Now we'll come into whatever version. So maybe you want to challenge yourself a little bit, right? You can play with it that way. So you could start with the elbow on the knee, bring that top arm up and over. And maybe you want to lift that bottom arm. And you can add a little challenge in here. Really test what's holding you. That's another way you can play with this posture. Last breath here. Cartwheel those arms down, popping up the back heel. Inhale that back foot up to meet the front, half lift. Exhale, hold. Let's just plant those hands, come right down to the knees from here. Find your way to seated. And we'll wind down. You need a couple little stretches or anything after this. You can take them. If you want to take a little shavasana afterwards, I always encourage that. But that's our extended side angle pose. So we'll go over the benefits one more time, since that's really what we're focusing on this week. We're really building a lot of strength in the legs, right? So this is going to help us in so many of our poses and like in everything off the mat, right? Balance, strength, agility. These are all things that we want to continually work on so that we have them available to us as we're getting older and our bodies are not liking us as much, right? So we want to keep building up those things so we don't lose them. So that's really going to help with that, and it's going to help keep things open here, right? Big heart opener pose, stretching all that out, opening up that side body, stretching the spine a little bit, helping with that sciatic, right? That low back pain. So a lot of benefits to this pose. So if you find it challenging to do a pose, right, or you don't really like a pose, sometimes picking something that you know is a benefit that's worthwhile to you can be a reason to practice it, right? But if you really hate this pose, you're like, all right, but it's good for my sciatic, or you can convince yourself of something. So sometimes knowing those benefits can help us with our mental games that we play with ourselves, right? So with that, let's wind down class. Let your hands just come to rest in your lap for a moment. Close your eyes. Invite back in that stillness, quiet from the beginning of class. Thank yourself for practicing today, for giving yourself this gift of time on your mat. And remember our card as you go forth from today. When I see good in others, I acknowledge it out loud. Make it your challenge to acknowledge at least one good thing. Thank you all for joining me this morning. Close class, let's bring our hands to prayer, touching down first at the third eye for kind thoughts. Prayer touches at the lips for loving words. Finally, coming to rest at the heart for an open heart. The light in me honors the same divine light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Thanks so much, everybody. So I'll be back next week for more pose of the month. More fun with extended side angle pose. No class this Saturday.